lifestyle. I did not choose to struggle like this. All of the struggles that I've been through and am still going through are just to feel comfortable with my self, to feel comfortable in my body. And it's so hard. It's so hard. But I would do this shit all over again if I had to.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to watch a video from Rachel Levine. We all know she is a woman, born a man, but now she's a trans woman, but for safety reason we call her a woman. I didn't really want to make this channel a lot about the trans thing, trans situation, LGBTQ+, but you guys seems to be always everywhere in the news. And I try to understand your point so I can see why the grass isn't greener, but you're trying to tell me the grass is greener, and I'm like, why do you keep telling me the grass is greener over there?
Ooh, a piece of candy.
So health professionals have a critical role to play. We must continue and to expand their work to address health misinformation directly with their patients. Now, this includes, but it goes beyond COVID-19. So I'd like to just talk briefly about another area of substantial misinformation that is directly impacting health equity in our nation, and that is the health equity of sexual and gender minorities. There is substantial misinformation about gender-affirming care for transgender and gender-diverse individuals. We are in this nation facing an onslaught of anti-LGBTQI+ actions at the state levels across the United States, and they are dangerous to the public health. The positive value of gender-affirming care for youth and adults is not in scientific or medical dispute. So we all need to work together to get our voices out in the front line. We need to get our voices in the public eye. And we know how effective our medical community can be talking to communities, whether it's at town halls, schools, conversations with others. And we need to use our clinicians' voice to collectively advocate for our tech companies to create a healthier, cleaner information environment. During a moment when public trust in our leaders and our information is very challenged, the healthcare worker community, the medical community does, I believe, maintain a high degree of trust, and we have to utilize that, and we have to utilize it effectively.
So I made some notes. So you want them to handle misinformation the way they handled COVID-19. Do you know how many times I got a strike on this channel because of COVID-19? If I explain something, I need to place the source. And even if I place the source, somebody behind the computer can just look at it and be like, well, I think you use an old source. I don't understand your point. Maybe you speak back English. Strike-a-doom. Do you know how many videos I made about people that are transitioning that proved me right? And you want to click those away? Cool. We need health equity. You have an issue and you need to solve it. If I had an issue with my body, I go to a psychologist, a therapist. Do you have any idea how many people go to a psychologist or a therapist or maybe 2 Zoom call later and they already cut parts of their body? Oh, cut the breast, feel like a man. Oh, you didn't like it? Put new breast. It's okay. You don't like your pee-pee? We can just remove it. You're gonna feel like a woman. But it's all about the journey, right? Don't believe me? Here you got the lady.
Do I regret it? Short answer is yes. Don't get me wrong, I got it done twice. It looks Barbie. Why do I regret it? Well, because I will never be able to live a normal life. After the surgery, you have to start dilating to keep the space they gave you. You start from doing it 4 times a day to once a week for the rest of your life. I was fine with that. See, the problem is I had major complications, and now for some reason, I need to do it every single day. Now, obviously, I've had relations, and girls, we all know, guys don't know what to do. So it's not really worth it to me. The problem is I cannot stop. If I stop, it's going to close up and create a bubble, and that bubble could literally create an infection that could... The 2 options here are I dilate for the rest of my life, or I get it removed surgically. Surgery goes for $70,000 and I don't want to go through that again, so I guess I'm dilating.
You're saying this is deep-seated in science? Are you 100% sure that puberty blockers can be changed? I think somewhere in the Nordic countries, they already said, yeah, no man, you can just turn this, you cannot just turn it off. This affects your body, it affects your brain, it affects your mental health.
There's so many people who regret this. There's more and more and more coming out, and younger too. on puberty blockers, that been on puberty blockers, and, you know, when we get 30, 40-year-olds that are going to be like, what the f*** did I do when I was 16 or whatever, like, and you can't go back.
I wish I could go back and not have any surgeries or medical transition or take any hormones. To be honest, like, this transition has costed me so much of my health, both mental and physical, as well as certain relationships in my family. Right now, I have osteoporosis, scoliosis, I have a lump in my breast, I have 1-inch vagina, and yeah, so it's like I have no sex drive. I'm trying to do the transition. I'm taking testosterone injection at this point, but I can't grow any facial hair, like nothing is happening. I mean, obviously I still like wearing makeup and stuff, but makeup and hair does not make a woman. So I've been so delusional for all these years, and I just wish my family and friends weren't so supportive of my transition, you know, and I wish they sat me down and talked to me and said, like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Maybe you'll grow out of this. I have so much to say and all the things that I say are not going to be like perceived well by trans community.
Why are these people an experiment? Oh, because you can always use the money? Because they will depend on you forever when you do this weird stuff? Really? Why would you do that to kids? Oh, we don't do it to kids. No. I covered enough videos that you can just call specific very left-wing places. Oh, you can just come, no worries. Because the doctors are afraid to say no. Because they're afraid you're going against the LGBTQ. Why don't you tell them the truth that you think about your kids? Loving.
But I have no regrets, because if I transitioned when I was young, and I wouldn't have my children. I can't imagine a life without my children. And so every experience led me to here. And so how could I regret that?
It's like a superstar being a trans person sometimes, but it's specific. Oh, no, we're not allowed to say that. There is no side up to the kids. Really?
So I don't want any of y'all conservative ass bitches to twist my words. I do not regret surgery. However, I knew recovery was gonna be hard, but nobody tells you that it could be this hard. But yeah, I was diagnosed with vaginal stenosis, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically when scar tissue gets built up inside of the vaginal canal to the point where it's like extremely tight and uncomfortable. And the thing is, for the first year after getting bottom surgery, you have to dilate your vagina religiously because it's a brand new canal that needs to be kept open religiously for the first year. I physically cannot dilate. My vagina still has depth, but it's so tight to the point that it could start to close and form pockets that could lead to infection, which means that I have to get another surgery. I basically just have to get the surgery all over again and get my vagina replaced. And like, it's just so annoying. And it just sucks because my vagina has made me so happy, happier than I've ever been. I finally feel comfortable in my body. It's so pretty on the outside. It's just the inside of it that's all up. And now I have to get an emergency revision surgery. I'm still waiting on the date. Hopefully it's soon. Yeah, I just wanted to come on here and be open and honest because I hope this shows you guys that being transgender, I would never choose this lifestyle. I did not choose to struggle like this. All of the struggles that I've been through and I'm still going through are just to feel comfortable with my self, to feel comfortable in my body. And it's so hard. It's so hard. But I would do this shit all over again if I had to.
And then you said nobody trusts the leaders, but they trust the doctors? Come on, man. You really think that we trust the doctors when the doctors can even say what is a woman? Come on, man. I feel like this agenda makes no sense, man.
I would have been so much further along in my transition before, like, if I would have started that young. And I'm detransitioning, so that would not have worked out the way that I thought it would work out.
We live in a world that goes in the opposite direction. So now that you have an idea what might happen to your kid, if it's a boy or a woman or whatever, Do you really think this is something that has to be promoted as if it's the most fun time they're going to have without the consequence that it has to their body and their mind? I don't think so. So if you want to promote all that stuff without talking about the negativity, so your kid is in their 30s and the only thing they can respond to is blame the conservative, I think that's bad. Actually, you're not borderline evil. That's quite evil. You're destroying an innocent just to prove, hey man, we need to provide equity. That's the umbrella term that everything is okay. I'm a staunch advocate to do your thing, have a good time, but try to be happy in your body as much as you can. Because any other choice is way more painful and costs way more money. But promoting it as if it's just a transition, I think that's evil. Let me know what you think. No, I mean it. I want to know because I want to know if I'm not crazy or if I am.